All right, today we're gonna crack a code. I'm talking about a secret number, a kind of hidden blueprint that's, well, it's everywhere, from the smallest seeds you can imagine, all the way up to massive galaxies. Let's dive in.
I mean, have you ever really stopped to think about it? Why do we look at some things in nature and just find them beautiful? You know, that perfect spiral in a seashell, or the way a tree branches out. It just feels right, doesn't it? Well, turns out there's a real, tangible reason for that feeling.
Okay, just look at this sunflower for a second. The answer we're looking for, it's right here, locked inside these incredible spirals. See how they swirl around, crossing over each other in opposite directions? It's almost hypnotic. And believe me, this isn't random. This is a work of pure mathematical genius.
So, to really get what's going on with this sunflower, and with all that beauty, we have to find this hidden number. It's this one single number that's so important, people have actually called it the divine proportion.
Yeah, you heard that right. One number. It's the secret sauce behind so many of the things we find pleasing to the eye. We're talking about everything from the arrangement of petals on a flower to the design of ancient buildings like the Parthenon. It just keeps showing up in nature, in art, even in architecture.
All right, so what is this number? What's the math behind all this beauty? Let's break it down.
It's called the golden ratio. Okay, stick with me here. Picture a line. Now, just cut it into two pieces, a long one and a short one. The magic, the secret, is when the whole line divided by the long piece is the exact same number as the long piece divided by the short piece. That perfect balance, that unique proportion, that's the key to everything.
And what number do we get from that? Well, it's about 1.618. It's what's called an irrational number, which just means the digits after the decimal point go on forever and they never repeat. So yeah, don't even try to memorize the whole thing. We usually just call it by its Greek letter, phi.
So a number that goes on forever, that sounds kind of complicated, right? But here's the crazy part. This magical number has a really simple secret. It's tied to a sequence of numbers you probably ran into way back in grade school.
And that secret? It's the Fibonacci sequence. It sounds fancy, but it's super easy. You just start with 0 and 1. Then you just add the last two numbers together to get the next one. So 0 plus 1 is 1. 1 plus 1 is 2. 1 plus 2 is 3. 2 plus 3 is 5, and on and on and on forever. It's that simple, and it's how we unlock the golden ratio.
Okay, so here's where it all clicks. If you take any two numbers next to each other in that Fibonacci sequence and you divide the bigger one by the smaller one, watch what happens. As you use bigger and bigger pairs of numbers from the sequence, the answer you get gets closer and closer and closer to our magic number, 1.618, to phi. It's like they're two sides of the same coin, an absolutely beautiful connection.
Right, so that's the math. But math is one thing. What about the real world? Let's go see how this blueprint for life shows up everywhere. And trust me, you're going to be surprised how often you see it.
Let's start with something simple, like a pine cone. Next time you see one, actually count the spirals. You'll probably find there are, say, 8 spirals going one way and 13 going the other. Hey, 8 and 13, those are Fibonacci numbers. And that's not an accident. There's a very good reason for it, and it all comes down to efficiency.
And it's not just pine cones. Look at a pineapple. Those diamond-shaped scales form spirals too. And guess what? You'll often find 8 spirals one way and 13 the other. It's like nature found a pattern it really, really likes and just keeps using it.
But this blueprint isn't just for plants. Oh no, it's in the animal kingdom too. Take dolphins. The placement of their eyes, their fins, their tail, they all tend to fall at these golden sections along the body. And this perfect proportion helps them glide through the water with incredible efficiency. Even something like a starfish with its 5 arms. 5 is a Fibonacci number. It's a living, breathing example of this principle at work.
And get this, the code is written into us. The proportions of the human face, the distances between your eyes, your nose, your mouth, they often relate back to this one number. And it gets crazier. The ratio of the distance from the top of your head to your belly button compared to from your belly button to the floor, it's often super close to 1.618. I mean, you can literally try measuring it yourself.
Okay, so we've seen it in plants, in animals, even in our own bodies. But this number, its influence goes bigger. I mean, way, way bigger.
You know, the ancient Greeks, guys like Pythagoras and Plato, they were the first to really study this ratio. And they had a hunch it was more than just a cool thing you find in nature. They thought it might be a key to the physics of the cosmos, a fundamental constant of the universe itself.
And you know what? They were onto something. Because the exact same pattern that arranges the seeds in a sunflower is, well, it's written in the stars. The huge spiral arms of galaxies, including our own Milky Way, they follow a path that's directly related to the golden ratio. Just try to picture that for a second. That massive cosmic swirl is following the same rule as a tiny flower.
So at this point, it's not really a question of if this number is everywhere. It clearly is. The real question is why? Why would nature, from a tiny seed to an entire galaxy, use the same exact code? What is so special about this number?
And the answer, when you get right down to it, is really simple. It's all about efficiency. The golden ratio just happens to be the best, most optimal way for things to grow and pack together. Let's go back to that sunflower. When the seeds grow in that specific spiral, it ensures that every single seed gets the most sunlight and nutrients possible. It's perfect design.
And this is the ultimate proof right here. On the left, you're seeing a computer model. It shows what happens when each new little piece grows at an angle of 137.5 degrees from the last one. That angle, called the golden angle, comes directly from the golden ratio. It is the perfect mathematical answer for how to pack things together with zero wasted space. And on the right, that's our real sunflower. The model and reality, they're a perfect match. Those beautiful spirals aren't an artistic choice. They are the result of the most efficient way to grow.
So there it is. From a tiny seed to a massive galaxy, it seems nature uses this one elegant code for both beauty and efficiency. The golden ratio really is all around us, once you know what to look for. So the only question left is, where will you find it next?